Bears breaking support. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name is Neil, keeping technical analysis short and sweet. And as we have talked about in the previous weeks, we would expect this Bitcoin to be dropping, consolidation, drop, consolidation, which would be this area technically. So we could expect another drop, pull back down towards the 200 EMA before immediately pulling back up over it, as the 618 is where we are currently at for the Fibonacci retracement. The next level is the 104. We could even push past it a little bit more to liquidate some more of those sell-offs before that immediate push right back up towards this previous all-time high. So with that in mind, we're going to jump through some of these real quick. CTSI had that major pullback, a major pop again, and a pullback again. So we are still underneath that 200 EMA. But once we get up over that 200 EMA, you may see some rapid movement like you see here. And moving in this upward trend line is kind of what we have to stay above. The next drop down would be within this area at this 0.06 cents. But CTSI does have a long way to go to make it to the top, and just looking at this volume area, it seems like there's a lot of support buyers right at this low. We haven't seen that much volume really in these previous buy-ups, and now we have some extremely high volume for CTSI. And as we see, its all-time high is up here at $1.79, and we are at 7 cents. So not a bad entry point, even if you're just holding it for a swing trade. Moving to Spell. Spell is still in consolidation, trying to hold some support off that upward trend line, but ultimately waiting for it to get above the 200 EMA and this downward trend line before entering. But when it does, Spell would be a very good option for an entry. IOTX. Consolidation, breaking over this upward trend line. It's not looking the strongest to be more bullish. It's kind of deciding on what Bitcoin's going to be doing. If it's doing that next leg down, we may have a further retracement before ultimately pulling back up and getting back over this upward trend line and this 3.3 cents. If it gets over that, that's where you would be looking for your entry. 3.5 cents is not a bad entry for what IOTX can become. Its high is up here around 50 cents. So putting 3 cents on it, turning it into 50, that's pretty good ROI for IOTX, and it's starting to get a little bit more bullish than what it was back here. It's trying to get over that 200 EMA, so we can expect to push up to 6 cents at least. And then obviously we want to test this as support, and we could see a push further to the upside for IOTX. And while Bitcoin is crashing and all of the other markets are crashing, Tornado Cash is still very bullish and pushing upwards with the CM Guppy, keeping the 200 EMA close. It's above the $11 mark, which is some very, very strong support. And now that we are over this point, we just need a little bit more consolidation and upward momentum. But overall, I keep recommending Tornado Cash. You can trade it on MEXC, reference in the description below. And if you use the reference link, you get 10 USDT free, which you can then use to buy one Tornado Cash, which can ultimately be worth $456 or more. And it's one of the healthiest looking coins out of the entire market. Tornado Cash looks prime. None of this is financial advice though. DOGE, clearly the 21 cent mark is the strongest support for it, but we could start seeing that push upwards as it's not really breaking and holding below the 21 cents. Even if Bitcoin pulls back, we could see that real quick retracement and hold still above the 21 cent mark. With Aerodrome, it had that major pullback, and it is now within the triangle, which we had talked about. And with the 200 EMA coming up, we could see a further retracement through the CM Guppy before getting some support and getting back over that downward trend line. Compound, still you've had the opportunity to get into compound. It is getting through this upward trend line just with what Bitcoin's doing. I imagine we could push a further low, but nowhere near past this $36. And you have a very good buying opportunity within this area for the next leg up for this downward trend line. QNT, still in consolidation, holding very well above the 200 EMA, using it as support. And I always like to invert this chart, and so you can see technically if we were to draw a trend line downwards, this is what we were trying to hold above, and it's just looking very healthy in my opinion. Let's flip it back to normal, and just mainly the 200 EMA is the major support. Could we push underneath that? Yes, with the Bitcoin pulling down. 618 is still here at $88. We could see that for a short time before pushing back up right into this $100 area. BNT, one of my favorites, entry at 34 cents. And we are up here at 75 cents. Very healthy, bullish formation. Holding well within the CM Guppy, keeping the 200 EMA close. And this downward channel. We are not breaking this downward trend line, so I imagine we could get a push up towards this downward trend line, and if that breaks, the next push up towards 92 cents and beyond. However, if it does fail for a short period of time, we have some support here at 69 cents. The next stop is tapping and kissing the 200 EMA before taking off to the new high. XCN, everybody's favorite. And a lot of people are freaking out just watching their money disappear, but it only disappears when you sell it. And as I have explained in the previous videos, all the way up here, we could see that retracement potentially down to this previous low. But if we can close anywhere above there or get some consolidation, we kind of want to see a little bit of support on this upward green trend line, which was placed from down here. It's just an observation. But anywhere within this range is a good buying opportunity when it does pull back, and we could see that push up and break of this red downward trend line. So just holding tight with XCN is the best bet if you're kind of freaking out that you have a pretty substantial loss at the moment. But it's really nothing to worry about. There's a lot of support and liquidity within this area. As we see, it's kind of trickling out. Same thing, we could invert this, and we could imagine there's going to be a strong double top, this being a double bottom when it's flipped, but a double top and a push back down towards the 0.2 cent mark and beyond for XCN. XYO, keep saying it, sleeping giant, stack it, stack it, stack it. Once it breaks this black downward trend line, it's going to start using this upward trend line as support most likely. We'll see it inch over that 200 EMA before taking off, filling out the cup and handle pattern. But it will move very quickly if you haven't got in on it yet. And then DNT and GRT. DNT, similar thing, consolidation, testing this 200 EMA many times. We just need to get above that 200 EMA and stay above this upward trend line for support. And with that, we can expect there to be a lot of pressure within this area and ultimately push it to the upside. The downside would be about 2 cents. The upside would be beyond this. It's 25 cents. So pretty good ROI for DNT. It's at a very low point. So even if you're buying for a swing trade, this is a very good entry, but it's not financial advice. And GRT holding this upward trend line slowly but surely. If it does drop, the next spot is here at 0.7, but it looks like it's on a lot of consolidation, trying to get the 200 EMA closer, so it's a little bit weaker before it can push up towards this downward trend line. Now the target roughly being 16 to 17 cents. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want. All references are in the link below, and good luck. Have fun with it. See you on the next one.